I still remember the way they said it. Not even hushed, not even guilty. Amy can just watch the kids. She doesn't mind. She's not really doing anything else. Not really doing anything else. That was my place in their script. Quiet, convenient, invisible. A babysitter for their big Christmas Eve party, while Rosie showed off her fiancé and Dad bragged about his investments. I wasn't invited as family. I was hired help. And that's when something inside me snapped. It hadn't always been this way. When we were kids, Christmas meant magic. Mom in her red apron, humming carols, Dad untangling lights, Rosie and I whispering at the top of the stairs, waiting for permission to run down. But somewhere along the years, the sparkle dulled. Rosie became the center of every conversation. I became the background, the reliable one, the one they leaned on without ever looking at. They didn't notice when I grew quiet. They didn't notice when I stopped showing up to family dinners. They only noticed when they needed something. This time, I decided, they'd notice in a way they'd never forget. I didn't cry. I didn't confront them. Instead, I planned. Step 1. Let them think I'd accepted. I smiled when Mom asked if I was free. I even joked, "Sure, I'll bring snacks for the kids." They laughed, relieved, gullible. Step 2. Identify the weak point. The party was built on 2 pillars, impression and excess. Every year it was the same: crystal glasses, silver trays, live music, endless food. Appearances were their religion, which meant the caterer was the beating heart. Step 3. Remove the heart. I called the catering service a few days later, pretending to be Mom. Calm, polite. I confirmed the order, then quietly canceled it. "A family emergency," I said. I asked for a refund check mailed directly. I had the address memorized. No food, no fallback, and no time for them to book another. Step 4. My own escape. I booked myself into a cabin 2 hours away. Firewood, silence, a stocked kitchen. While they scrambled, I would be watching the snow fall, sipping cocoa by a fire I lit myself. December 24th arrived. I packed my bag. One last glance in the mirror, one last confirmation of the plan. No guilt, no hesitation. By 6, I was in the cabin. The fire crackling, my phone buzzing with the first call. Mom. I let it ring twice before answering. Her voice was sharp. "Where are you? The guests are arriving. The kids." I laughed, a clean, sharp sound. "Don't wait for me, Mom, or the catering." Silence. Then the panic hit her tone. "What do you mean?" But I'd already hung up. I could almost see it play out in my mind. Guests arriving in sequined dresses and polished shoes, greeted by the smell of nothing. No roasted meats, no hors d'oeuvres, no champagne. Just empty platters and confused faces. Rosie pacing, whispering to Dad that the night was ruined. Dad pulling at his tie, pretending it was a minor hiccup, while his reputation crumbled in front of his friends. And Mom, oh Mom, trying to herd restless children with no sitter, no food, no plan. They wanted me as background noise. Instead, I'd become the silence that swallowed their party whole. Later that night, when the snow had piled high outside the cabin windows, my phone lit up again. Rosie this time. Her message was short. "How could you?" I stared at it for a long time before replying. How could I not? By the time I returned home, Christmas was ashes. Neighbors whispered about the disaster at the Rhodes house. Friends joked about bringing their own snacks next year. The family's annual show of power had become a cautionary tale. Rosie didn't look me in the eye. Dad stayed quiet, lips pressed thin. Mom tried once, just once, to lecture me. "You embarrassed us," she hissed. I tilted my head. "No, Mom, you embarrassed yourselves. I just stopped cleaning up after you." She didn't speak again. It wasn't about the food. It wasn't even about Christmas. It was about balance. For years, I'd been the one who bent, the one who carried, the one they leaned on until my back ached. But that night, I made them carry themselves, and they collapsed under the weight. Do I regret it? No. I sat in that cabin, the fire painting gold across the walls, the snow muffling the world outside, and I felt something I hadn't in years. Peace. Not the peace of forgiveness, the peace of reclamation. Because sometimes revenge isn't fire or fury. Sometimes it's subtraction, taking away what they counted on and letting them choke on the emptiness. They wanted me invisible, but they'll never forget what it felt like when I disappeared. Not that Christmas, not ever.